We pride ourselves that we can get to grips with our chosen craft and be ahead of our honeybees. Sometimes, however, we can miss the finer points. This is Gen Buzz. Hi folks, welcome to our channel, and I'm starting off with I am in the doghouse. I'm in trouble, and the reason I'm in trouble is, if you reflect back to the bee garden video that I was doing, I forgot to mention about my wife Wendy, who was a big contributor to what the garden is, and she did a lot of procurement of the plants, shrubs and trees that you see, and how nice they were and how they came on. I have to confess that I did most of the heavy lifting and some of the planting, but she was actually instrumental in getting the garden together as far as the concept's concerned. So I was in trouble, and I'm now rectifying that by saying, Wendy, I apologise, and any further videos on the garden, I promise you I will include you and give you the credit where credit's due as far as the upgrades and changes to the garden. So hopefully now I'm not in the doghouse anymore. So it just reminds me to say, enjoy episode 6 of Gen Buzz, and I will see you all very soon. And again, I apologise, Wendy. So cheerio now and enjoy. Honeybee vision is a complex part of insect biology. Out of pure curiosity, the question is, how does this remarkable insect identify a home and able to tell the difference from many hives that are in the same apiary? So here's the simplest answer. Firstly, we have to look at initial perception. A good example of human perception is demonstrated in Slovenia with elaborate decoration of alpine bee houses. Strewn across these constructions are depictions of events based on folklore and legendary figures. To actually put things into perspective, in the 17 and 1800s, it was actually a display of personal wealth and standing, and in fact had no bearing on the honeybee orientation and understanding what is her home. The 20th century is still no exception as far as brightly coloured hives are concerned. The habit of painting hives in a series of colours continues, but are honeybees really able to differentiate? Let's have a bash of explaining what is the reality. What is the sense of place to a honeybee? At some stage we have had to relocate a hive in a different position within an apiary, and what is clear, a honeybee will return and hang out in the original position of the hive. So wouldn't it follow that she only recognises a place and not a colour? And despite that, an example would be if the grass grows around the hive and obscures it, she still can differentiate. Observations have been documented that this holds true. So to understand this, it would point to honeybees having a great navigational system built in. We'll discuss that later. So the next question you have to ask is, so what do honeybees actually see? Early study proclaimed that the honeybee is considered to be short-sighted. This is not accurate. Insect eye's anatomy doesn't possess a mechanism to focus. Short-sightedness is an affliction that requires a focusing capability. Some of us know how that plays out, because distances and acuity affects this function more in human beings. Published in 1950 was a written work, Bees, Their Colour Vision, Chemical Senses and Language, by von Frisch. He went on to say pollinators were attracted to flowers of bright colours. Of course, you have to consider possible factors added to the attractiveness, such as scent and obviously nectar rewards. In 1882, John Lubbock, an English science scholar, conducted his own studies into the honeybee's sense of colour detection by means of reward, and concluded that honeybees were blind to shades of red. This was found to be a flawed experiment, and von Frisch discovered that honeybees use the ultraviolet spectrum. An example is a poppy that reflects strongly in the spectrum, and of course a good source of pollen. So the next thing to look at is honeybees' celestial and solar navigation capabilities. To fully understand the honeybee's skill in navigation, we have to briefly talk about light and its effects. Some more science. The light from the sun radiates in all directions, but as it passes through our atmosphere, it takes on a direction which is called polarity. While it was first described in 1871, it was not until 1950 that the full analysis was presented. The observed polarity of light is a result of the position of the sun in the sky, position of the observer, and the direction of the observation. Polarity reflects where the sun is and our direction compared to it. If it's an afternoon and the sun is on my left, I am headed north. This applies to the northern hemisphere. A honeybee's ability to see polarized light gives it a keen sense of direction. Using it, the bee can communicate to other bees where a patch of flowers can be found by the well-known Waggle Dance. This dance uses the angle between the sun's current position and the destination to indicate in which direction foragers should fly. How far they should fly is encoded in another way altogether. Tom Seeley has done much work in this area and analysing the meaning in such dances with great success, something I won't analyse in depth here. But it's worthy of mention that honeybees are able to judge distance with remarkable accuracy in relation to the sun's position. So do honeybees have tunnel vision? In the 1980s, a series of experiments to investigate this phenomena was conducted. It was established that honeybees are able to gather information of distance by flying through a landscape and past objects whilst in flight, and able to judge distance by velocity in passing distinctive landmarks. Remarkable, as honeybees do not have stereo vision. The experiment also revealed although parts of the test were manipulated to confuse the bee, she was able to adapt accordingly to maintain direction despite drastic changes of environment and parameters of the experiment. So we have to really discuss the next thing, and which is quite common to us, and that is orientation flights. Honeybees have remarkable skills when applying precision and care in their short lifetime, from comb building, foraging and nurturing brood. Life outside the hive becomes a challenge to young honeybees graduating to foraging duties. On fine afternoons, a flurry of activity might be obvious. This is the next skill which is required by the bees to become one of the foragers and is called orientation. This activity is distinctive and can be mistaken as swarming, however, it has its own dynamic. The difference between the two is orientating honeybees face the hive and move up and down the height of the hive, and also fly in a series of spirals, increasing in elevation, and in effect get a GPS fix, using the position of the sun. On the other hand, swarming is more dynamic, with bees exiting the hive at great speed, moving in the same direction. After orientation, the imprint is complete, and the information gathering skill increases over time and is commonly used within the hive in the way of waggle dancing and indication of valuable resource sites. So in summary, as beekeepers we're aware that a honeybee worker has a short life and in a handful of weeks has gathered a vast amount of knowledge. The real irony is that what she has learned dies with her. But the upside is the colony collective retain the information of their environment, and this overlaps the life cycle of the colony, and the map retains its value. But as a final thought, vision and memory are crucial to the success of the honeybee. Well folks, I hope you enjoyed episode 6 on the GenBuzz series. I'm not an expert scientifically, and it's only what I've researched online, and I enjoy doing that, and to me every day is a school day. So if you want to comment, please do put in the comments below. If you want me to do anything else, again, comments below and I'll try and sort something out. Again, for me this is just really a bit of a titivation, if you like, between doing jobs for real in the beekeeping world. We're coming to the end of the season, whereas things start to slow down, so I will put out probably every week a subject of interest as far as beekeeping is concerned. You'll be familiar with me and my antics in that front by looking at my previous videos. But anyway, thanks for looking in. Please like, subscribe, comment, as I've said before, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers folks, and be safe. Cheerio.